A police officer hospitalized with COVID for weeks is sharing his story about recovering from the virus.
He tells WBZ's Christina Hager about the tough loss of another officer and gave his thoughts on this new vaccine.
Obviously, as a police officer, you find yourself in dangerous situations at times, but, ever being sick from contracting a virus, no, I never thought of that.
Thank you to the nurses at Beth Israel for pulling our brother through and all of your prayers.
Officer Omar Borges back at Boston Police Headquarters looking a lot different than the last time we saw him leaving Beth Israel back in April, where he had spent a full month suffering in the ICU, then recovering from COVID-19.
Other than the birth of my children, it was probably the greatest feeling I've ever had. And seeing my family there for the first time in 30 days and to actually physically touch and hold them was something that I'll never forget.
The pandemic has hit the Boston Police Department hard. 193 officers have tested positive. While Borges doesn't think first responders should have to get a vaccine, he's glad they're at the front of the line if they want it.
At the end of the day, everyone can be quarantined and everyone can stay at home and work from home. Unfortunately, first responders can't.
Borges' fellow officer, Jose Fontanez, couldn't and didn't survive.
I think about it all the time. Officer Fontanez and I were in the hospital at the same time. We were admitted to the ICU at the same time. We pray for Officer Fontanez's family, and we're always going to keep them in our prayers.
Officer Borges still isn't back to work. After 15 years on the police force, it took a pandemic to knock him down, but he is slowly getting back up. In Boston, Christina Hager, WBZ News.